They say that those who tell the stories rule the world. And it would be an ideal world if we just let these storytellers rule. Artists who through their art, be it song, music, dance or fashion, tell us things about themselves and ourselves. Because only when you are true to yourself can you tell genuine stories. Every week, join me as I seek out rare storytellers on Teachers' Genuine Stories Season 2. On Season 2 of Teachers' Genuine Stories, we bring you rare artists who have reached a certain point in their creative journey. These are people whose work you would definitely know, but we try and get you the stories that have shaped that work. For the first time on this show, we are moving into the world of fashion. Falguni and Shane Peacock, the power couple of Indian fashion. Since they set up their label in 2002, this couple is known for their distinctive statement clothes. Their clothes are variously described as glam rock, edgy, with an international soul. Some of the people who have worn Falguni Shane Peacock are sort of well known. I mean, you know, Katy Perry, Beyonce, J-Lo, Kim Kardashian. Come on, let's go and meet the duo.
When we create a new design, it is our design. There is never yours or mine.
And that is why our label is Falguni Shane Peacock. There is no and between our names.
Because it is seamless, our thoughts, our designs, and our vision for our brand is a continent.
Every piece of clothing we create is a story we tell.
And when people across the globe wear our clothes, we know that the story our fashion has told is a genuine and a universal one. Hi.
Shane, how are you doing?
All good.
Good to see you.
Hi, Falguni.
Pleasure. So guys, you've been married for almost 2 decades, right? So Falguni, how have you managed to separate the personal from the political, given that now there's a family, there's just not 2 of you, and a growing business? Tough?
It is tough, but I think, the first few years of being married, we were still understanding how we want to make it work, because we would definitely take work home and we'd have like 100 disagreements. But then eventually, I've just stopped.
So, we know, Falguni, that you started as a commercial artist in an ad agency. Shane, you have your origins in, God knows how, but engineering. So if you were to start this story and talk about your origins, how did it all start?
Schooling happened, was ready to go to fashion college. And my dad is like, we come from a family of lawyers and chartered accountants, and please, you have to get into chartered accountancy. I said, I can't put 2 and 2 together, and you're asking me to do that. So after a lot of resistance, he did finally agree for me to get into commercial arts. And then I was working with an ad agency, but fashion was where my heart was. And he had designed a collection and he wanted me to paint it, and that's how we met.
But one second, what were you doing painting when you should have been in engineering?
My father put me into an engineering college, and then I realized engineering is not my cup of tea. So at that time I decided, if I'm going to be an engineer, I'll be a bad engineer. But if I took a decision on that day, then maybe I might be right, but at least I took the decision. So I packed my bags and I left home. So a month passed by, and then I said, I have to do something about it. I started finding out how I could get into fashion. So I went to an institute, and asked them how I could do it. And then I realized it's pretty expensive at that time. I wouldn't be able to afford it. So I said, okay, if I need to get myself a part-time job then. So I was thinking of all those odds, and somehow it's just landed me out here.
So when you look back now of the journey. What was that breakout moment where you knew that you were good enough to match your wits with the best?
We used to do a lot of shows in LA and stuff. And then the minute we got the call for Fergie for the FIFA outfits, in 7 days, virtually, we've done everything, turned around the outfit from design to progress pictures to everything. 4 outfits were ready and they reached South Africa on the 7th day. And that's when we felt that, okay, now this is something which we know we're confident now, and we can do anything possible. And that was the day I felt like, okay.
I'm sure everybody who's watching this program would love to know about the Beyoncé story at the Wearable Art Gala. So please, tell us.
I kept on telling the showroom, I said, Beyoncé, Beyoncé, Beyoncé. And for a year, I had Beyoncé on my iPad, And suddenly I got a call saying that, there's this gala happening and y'all have to make a dress in gold. That's it. And
Oh, so simple.
yeah. And there was no other brief. And then we started working on it back and forth on the sketches. And once the sketch was selected and the outfit was made, and the outfit was so massive that we didn't know how to send it over there. So then we had to get a big crate of the size of a fridge. And the dress was somehow managed and put inside that, and it reached over there. And then my anxiety started. I'm like, when is it? If the gala is in one, I was backward counting. I'm like,
1 hour.
Yeah.
So the anxiety was because she had many dresses to choose from?
50 about?
Yeah.
50.
50. And then finally, when she wore the outfit and came, I can't tell you, I was like literally fell off the bed. But it was an amazing experience.
I think the whole journey creating was more exciting.
Yeah.
Shane, it's been wonderful, especially in the last decade or so, both here as well as abroad. What's next?
I think getting into technology, because I feel that technology is moving so fast and fashion moves at a slower pace. And if we want to be ahead of our times, we have to catch up with technology.
One thing I knew very strongly, that the brand needs to live on even after we are gone. And I do feel that having another 10 stores or 30 stores, it's going to happen. But if our end goal and our end vision is to live on, then everything will follow on,
Take us through the process of how, business-wise and creative-wise, you guys start to approach a new collection.
So normally, Fashion Weeks, what we've done collections, it's always been very mood-based. So if we are in a dark phase, then the collection is dark. If we are in a happy phase, the collection is happy. And then the inspiration starts, we put the mood board. So we've always put a mood board before we could start designing. And we do sampling. After sampling, then we get models.
We try it on the models and take off things, add things to it, in terms of embroideries and the silhouettes and the cuts. And finally, it is ready.
So the entire process is almost a 5-month process from sketching to delivery.
This has been so enlightening to actually understand how much of hard work and grit goes behind creating all that glamour. Clearly, you can't just treat this as a profession. It has to be a passion. So, Falguni, Shane, thank you for letting me into your world.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for having us.
What Falguni and Shane Peacock are showcasing here exclusively for Teachers' Genuine Stories are some of their signature pieces from their couture collection. What you will witness here is the quintessence of their label. Falguni and Shane don't hold back. Their work is dramatic, often flamboyant, but always genuine. Their clothes reflect their fluid design sensibility and are inspired by the multiple stories around them. What keeps Falguni Shane Peacock consistent and authentic is the belief in their work and, above all, in each other. It was Miuccia Prada who once said, "Fashion is instant language." After meeting with Falguni and Shane, I sort of get what that means. Fashion can tell you a story which doesn't need the spoken word. Till next week then, join me as I meet genuine storytellers with stories that are rare, only on Teachers' Genuine Stories. It's been wonderful, especially in the last decade or so. What's next?
I do feel that having another 10 stores or 30 stores, it's going to happen. One thing I knew very strongly, that the brand needs to live on even after we are gone. But if our end goal and our end vision is to live on, then everything will follow on.